Hi, everybody. I'm just going to take a few minutes here to talk to you about Francine Prose chapter on details from her book, Reading Like a Writer. So, first off, let's take a look at this important quote from the very beginning of the chapter. Details are what persuade us that someone is telling the truth, a fact that every liar knows instinctively and too well. Bad liars pile on the facts and figures, the corroborating evidence, the improbable digressions ending in blind alleys, while good, or at least better liars, know that it's the single priceless detail that jumps out of the story and tells us to take it easy. So first off, the key takeaway from this passage is that when you're writing or when writers are writing, they need to make sure that they're not giving us too many details and focusing on what is the detail, what is the key detail that is going to inform us. And she develops this by going further and giving us some examples. So, for example, later on in the passage, she says, often a well chosen detail can tell us more about a character, his social and economic status, his hopes and dreams, his vision of himself, than a long explanatory passage. So, some examples that she gives us of a well chosen detail is when she talks about the passage where they mention a 10-year-old Volvo, right? She says that sometimes name brands aren't necessarily a good thing, but they can also function on many, many levels and and allow us to make inferences. The fact that someone's driving a 10-year-old Volvo will inform us that this person probably isn't rich. There's also the detail that she talks about earlier in the chapter of Gregor's framed woman from a magazine. What type of man has a woman cut out from a magazine in a frame hanging on the wall? Is this a man who is lonely? Is this a man who is happy? These are details that allow us to make inferences about the character. And then we remember in detail, we recognize in detail, we identify, we recreate. Cops rarely ask eyewitnesses for general and vague descriptions of the perpetrator. Details give us what we need to fully understand character, fully understand setting, fully understand theme. They function on many, many different levels. And as we go through the chapter two, the last two parts I want to talk to you about are if we doubt for a moment how our memory for detail can be trusted and used to pull us through the story, consider the detail of Julian's mother's hat. This is where she talks about the short story, Everything That Rises Must Converge by Flannery O'Connor, and she talks about how that one detail of a hat, A, fully captures the character of her mother, how the detail functions as a symbol, and then later on, how that detail became a crucial element of the plot of the story. So details matter on many, many levels and serve many, many functions. The important details do that. Details aren't only the building blocks with which a story is put together, they are also the clues to something deeper, keys not merely to our subconscious, but to our historical moment. So these details can place us in time, can help us understand what is actually going on within the book, in the moments of the book. But details can also resonate with us, the reader, and that can help us develop and understand the theme. So, questions to ask yourself when you're looking for details in a chapter and in a reading. Ask yourself, what does this detail tell me about character, first and foremost? Is this detail functioning as a symbol? How is this detail serving the plot? And how does this detail help develop the theme? So, considering details in your reading, you can come up with answers for all of these questions. So, thank you very much. And that is all you need to know about details from Reading Like a Writer.